Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning to these videos. In this video, I wanted to briefly touch on this topic about the civil unrest that's currently happening. And right now, it's everybody is protesting and rallying against Elon Musk. And they're going around vandalizing Tesla cars. I literally just seen a Tesla car. It's become a target now because of whatever this guy Elon Musk is saying on Twitter. It's riling up the people. And I'm not going to click these articles, but like you can see how bugged out these people are. They're saying that, like in this article, the title of it says that the demonstrators rally in hands-off protests against Trump policies and Musk-led policies that he's trying to push. Protesters across U.S. rally against Trump and Musk. Stop destroying America. And what these people are really doing is just showing that they're upset with what's going on in society. They're not going to regard their kings or princes. And DJ Trump and Elon Musk, really, they're just lesser luminaries. They're not really calling the shots. They're just the guys who are telling you what's about to unfold here in America. And with all these civil unrests, it's just inching us closer to them putting it in legislation to start cracking down on these people. And like all these things are just going to lead to the MOTB. They're going to lead to World War III. And they're just going to lead to prophecy being fulfilled. Specifically, 2 Ezra 15 and Matthew 24, which we go into a lot, especially in the times right now. We're seeing all these unrests, because that's what Yahweh Shai told us to look for, measuring the time diligently and seeing that basically our salvation is nearer than we believe. And you see, we're not really protesting about whatever the society has to do, what's God going for us. We seek a kingdom to come. We're protesting about the injustice that's happening because of the scriptures. We're not just out here making things up on our own. We see an injustice that's happening in the scriptures, and that's what we're crying and sighing about for all the abominations that are happening down here. The rest of these people, they're mad at Elon Musk and Donald Trump, but then you still got all of this. Now, I'm not going to go into the too deep, dark sickness that's happening in the society, but that's going on every day. Like, people really deserve death, but you can't bring that up in conversation. You can't even, even open up the Bible, even though this country was supposedly built on the tenets of the Bible. This place is literally, it's just out of course, it's disorder. But you see this society crumbling, cracking down on the people now, and we're gonna see and witness all these people catch pure hell. And us in this ministry, we're praying to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that we are saved out of that hell. Because when these plagues hit this place, it's going to be just like in the times of Egypt. And a plague right here, it's going to go into it, that we're going to see not just the plagues of Egypt, but more plagues. And the plague of like the fentanyl, the plague of all these people getting attacked by the police. It's all biblical prophecy. So I'm going to read this here in 2 Ezra 15. And let me see. I'll start at verse 1. But I'm going to jump down to like the main points. But on the verse first, it says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear none," Sake says, "fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." And we're at camp. We always have a person come up to us, try to dismiss what we're speaking about, as if these things actually aren't happening, when they're happening on the news all over. And then the incredulity is basically the ability to not believe, and they don't have faith in these words. That's ultimately what's gonna bring judgment and destruction to them, is because they don't believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and what it's about to do to this place. So in verse 3 it says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." Anybody who comes up to us and tries to dismiss us, say that the Bible is fake, it's full of fairy tales, or whatever they got to say, we just shrug it off and laugh about it. And ultimately, we remember this precept. And this precept is basically happening in the spirit every time we're out there on the highways and hedges, because only the elect want to hear this message. The rest of these people, they have disbelief. So in verse 4 it says, "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." And so all those things are going to hit this place in a large scale. And verse 6 it says, "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." And so, like, as I was speaking, like, the injustices that are happening in this society are biblical. No one cares about what's happening during the Pride Parade, but that's something that the Heavenly Father frowns upon, among other things. Like, this society is just full of sin. No matter which way you look at it, it's darkness and not light. And that's why the Heavenly Father is going to judge this place, because of the iniquity and controversies that Babylon is doing with that wine and fornication that he's pushed on all the four corners of the earth. You go to Japan, you go to Puerto Rico, you go to Mexico, you go to Germany, you're going to see Esau, Edom pushing and proliferating wickedness on this earth. And so that's why, like it says in verse 6, "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." And we're the souls of the just. The elect is complaining continually until Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is sent down here to deliver us, and he establishes the true rulership, the kingdom, and have Israel as a praise on the earth. That hasn't happened yet. That prophecy hasn't happened yet. So we're going to continually sigh and cry for all the abominations that are happening down here. So let me see. I'm going to jump down, going into specifically these protests. Because when these protests happen, Esau Edom is going to just get their military and their police forces ready, so that when another protest happens, they can just shoot them down with those rubber bullets and tear gas. You see it all the time happen. Whenever a protest happens, the next one happens, they start to lock down more. So if you jump down to verse 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." And you've been seeing that happen in all these small schisms, Egyptian against Egyptian. Like, I remember a while back there was a protest happening in Berkeley, and you just see a whole bunch of Edomites beating up another group of bunch of Edomites. Biblical prophecy. So you're seeing now the civil unrest. And okay, so jumping down, verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And you can see that right now on both sides of the wing. You got the right wing and the left wing. If Kamala was to be president, nothing would have changed. You just see the right-wing Edomites with the hats, MAGA hats, protests, and be all upset or whatever. But because DJ Trump is president, you're seeing the left wing do that. So no matter which way you look at it, prophecy is going to be fulfilled. And these people, they've had it up to here with all the taxes and the tariffs that are happening. I mean, really, they should be protesting for righteousness, but you're only seeing that amongst the elect of the nation of Israel, the hopeful elect who are sighing and crying. They're just protesting on some BS. But ultimately, they're not regarding their kings or princess. They're mad at who's president and who's taking charge and dictating what's happening in Congress. Like Elon Musk basically just slithered his way into the politics, and now what he says is actually being enacted. People are actually adhering to what Elon Musk has to say. When that guy, he's not even an American citizen, or like he wasn't born here in America like the rest of us. So I'm going to read verse 16 again. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of the pride of the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. And so all these things are going to lead to Jacob's trouble. That great tribulation where it's going to get to a point where people are going to be killing each other for the lack of bread. You best believe all these things that are happening in the spirit, it's cooking. These tariffs are only just going to make that happen more so. We're going to see Jacob's trouble in our lifetimes. You know, any type of so-called prophet is saying contrary to that, they are not sent by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. They are false prophets, because Yahushai told us to look after these things, and that's the testimony of Yahushai, being in the spirit of prophecy. And so I'm going to read here in Matthew 24 where it reiterates that. Let me see. So this is jumping into Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And it's going to be a tribulous time of sorrows and famines. So this is something that we're looking for. And of the hopeful elect, we're rejoicing in the fact that these things are happening. Because like I said, we know that our salvation is nearer than we believe when these things are happening. The things that Yahushai spoke of is now actually happening. And that's only just making us more pumped up in the spirit. And so, you could read all these things, but I'll highlight this in verse 11. It says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And so all these things basically just referencing precept upon precept what I just read in 2nd Ezra 15. And so what manner of person are you to be with all holy convocation and godliness, looking for and hastening the return of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? We're seeking the kingdom. We are not a part of this world. We are pilgrims on this world. We are not attached to what this society has to offer. Yeah, these tariffs are going to hurt a little bit here and there, but we rely on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We deal with the daily bread. We're walking that straight and narrow. All these things that are happening, we rejoice. And ultimately, in our minds, the kingdom of heaven is within us. So whatever this society is going through, Jacob's trouble, we should not be worried about that or troubled, because that trouble is really for the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, those who don't have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And when times come like that, you have to meditate on these scriptures, because although the scriptures do say that his prophets, his men shall eat in those times, it's gonna be a situation where it's a miracle that you eat in those times. Whereas people are just going to be left to rot, left to starve for 10 days. You might starve for a few days, but if you have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, he's going to deliver you out of whatever situation that you find yourself in during Jacob's trouble. The Heavenly Father is not going to put too much that you can't handle, but he knows that you've been fasting. He knows that you rely on the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and if you ask of those things, he's going to give you those things. And so that's something you have to have in not exactly the back of your mind, but in the forefront of your mind whenever you're going through these situations. Like right now, before the calm, the calm before the storm, I should say, you should practice these things and rehearse these righteous acts. And so I'm going to read this here in Micah 2:10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. And that's to meditate about this wicked society. This society ain't for us. This is Esau Edom's time to party. And you can see that the only way Esau Edom knows how to party is with the fen, or killing each other. Egyptian against Egyptian. You just look at this guy's track record and know that that's his MO. Because he's just been going at war with himself and the world of creation ever since this devil crawled out of the cave. And so we have no part in the society. We don't care if the tariffs happen. We rejoice when they happen. And so all these things that are happening are really plagues sent from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And so I'm going to read this here, to have that in the mindset of while we're in this thing before Jacob's trouble happens, why we're not attached to this society. Because this is Esau's rulership. This is his blessing right now. And we don't care that we don't have a part in it. We don't want a part in it. So this is in Lamentations 4:21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked." And that time right now is happening to Esau Edom. His time has come. He's an Edomite, and he's finished. His time is coming that his rulership has to be given up. And so that's why, like, when an Edomite comes up to us and they lie about the fent that they're taking, even though they have crooked backs, they think that their rulership, that they're always going to be on top. Really, we tell them that they should just go up the block and hit the fent. Have fun in your society, because we're telling you that it's about to come to an end. Well, we're sent as messengers to tell you that, because this is through Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. This is not something that we're making up on our own. This is prophecy that's happening. So I'm going to read in verse 22. It says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion." And if you read in Lamentations 3, the chapter before, it talks about how you're supposed to, even though we're in this captivity, where the curses are on us, you still have to have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because his mercies are endless. They are renewed day by day. And so even though we're going through all these things, if you receive Yahweh Shai, the blood that's over you, you are blessed. You are forgiven for things that you've done, any type of trespass. And when we have faith and works, it drives us to push this ministry more. And that's pleasing unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So like if you read that in Lamentations 3, it goes into that, why are we at the bottom even though we're the chosen people? Well, it's ultimately, the answer to that is we've been punished by the Heavenly Father for disobeying Him. But His mercies are still there. He still has to fulfill the prophecy that He gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So jumping into Lamentations 4:21, 22, it says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion." And so, like right now, you're seeing that punishment come to an end. You're seeing the valley of dry bones actually have the Spirit on them, and now they're able to stand up. That's only accomplished if the Heavenly Father gave mercy unto His people. So from the top of verse 22 again, it says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." And kind of just to highlight that, like, we were carried into captivity because of our iniquity. But after this is the last go around. We know what's going to come after this, the uncorruptible crown. And Esau Edom, he's not going to be able to escape it. All his sins are going to be discovered. It's going to be like as if the Lord is going to lift his skirt, and he's going to see all the abominations that are under it. And so these are things that we're supposed to rejoice in and prophesy on and watch. Because this ain't going to be the last protest that we're going to see before Jacob's trouble. There's going to be more and more civil unrests that are going to lead to Jacob's trouble. But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rachak B'Dash. Shalom, Akim.